and a warm welcome to the 2021 graduates of SEAS and the program in the environment. Welcome families, friends, faculty, colleagues. Congratulations to all. As most of you know, I'm Jonathan Overpeck, the Samuel A. Graham Dean of the School for Environment and Sustainability, or Dean Peck, as many like to call me. I hope everyone has been safe and well. I'm very proud of our guests of honor, the graduates, but I also want to express special thanks to the families and friends watching today. Without your support, the graduates would not have reached this milestone. And I want to take a moment to celebrate you too. Thank you. I wish, of course, that I could congratulate each and every one of the graduates in person. But I'm grateful that the technology, that is Zoom and the like, that we've all become almost too familiar with over the last year, provides this opportunity to bring us all together today. When we first met at the Dana Building in what I like to call BC, or before COVID, we had no idea of the challenges that would be ahead. And yet we persevered and learned about crisis management and flexibility in a firsthand way. Students, faculty, and staff have all had to work so much harder than usual to adjust and to adapt. It has been tough, and we should all reflect on what we've learned about the resilience of our community and about what we can accomplish in difficult times. We should also reflect on the personal resilience we've all learned about, resilience that should pay dividends far, far into the future. Graduates, you've proven yourselves in the most remarkable ways. Even in the midst of a pandemic, you have led the way for change through master's projects, internships, community engagement, and much, much more. Through your participation in the democratic process, you have helped shape the national policy on climate change, environmental protections, as well as environmental justice and equity. And here at Michigan, as our campus goes carbon neutral, you should remember that you played a major part in making that change happen. As you know, just over a month ago, the university announced that it'll immediately shift its endowment investments to focus more on renewable energy, to stop investing in funds focused on fossil fuels, and to discontinue direct investments in publicly traded companies that are the largest contributors to greenhouse gases. Acknowledging the huge milestone that this decision represents, Regent Jordan Acker credited the hard work and advocacy of students who, quote, recognized the importance of the issue and saw the impact our institution could have in this fight, unquote. He said, quote, your activism matters, your voice matters, your passion matters, and yes, your viewpoint matters. Through your advocacy, you have made our campus a better place and the world a better one, unquote. I wholeheartedly agree with Regent Acker, and I hope you all feel proud of how you've contributed to this change. This is only one of the ways that demonstrate the impact you made during your time at the University of Michigan. Now, you leave here with the academic skills, the life experience, and the promise to shape the future of the planet, creating a more sustainable and just world. You have shown ingenuity, passion, insight, resilience, and grit. You've inspired those of us who have worked with you, and you can continue to count on our support. We are proud of you already, and we look forward to seeing all you accomplish as alumni. Our planet and all of its inhabitants need you now more than ever. We all have a job to do, and you make all of us here today more hopeful and optimistic about the future. It has been a true honor and privilege to work with you. Well done, graduates, and congratulations again on reaching the milestone of graduation. Thank you, and go Blue!
Dear seasoned professionals and distinguished guests, My name is Elliot Schwab, and I've been recycling since I was old enough to walk. I'm honored to be able to give this speech to all of you today and to your friends and family. I'm actually pre-recording this on Earth Day, so it's very fitting and apropos for the spirit of today. Being raised by an engineer, MBA, EPA employee mother, it may seem like a natural progression to be here at SEAS and at the University of Michigan today, but I assure you it is not. I'm from the state of Texas, which I will touch on only briefly later. I'll try to control myself, but growing up, even into my early career, I had no idea a program like this existed. Let me get this straight. You mean I can get paid to work on the problems that I have the chance to save and impact the world? Sign me up. Ever since I stepped into SEAS, into the Dana building for the first time, as part of my first Andy Hoffman lecture, I felt right at home. Challenging the status quo for good? Now that's something I could get behind. Today as we stand here, sit here in our desk chairs, together, apart, in amazement, uncertainty of our time at SEAS and in Ann Arbor. What have we learned? What have we become? Do we have the skills to accomplish the tasks that lay ahead on the path to creating a just world? A world that offers opportunity to all who are willing to take it, in the environment, in global society, and in our own hometowns? What kind of world are we graduating into? How can we be a part of the change for better? Do we have enough confidence, ability, perspective, support, empathy, and fortitude to do what we say we want to do? If you're feeling anything like I'm feeling, there are a lot more questions than answers, but I would argue we've refined our questions with intention and care while at SEAS. These questions are the ones that need to be answered, not just to quell the internal monologue of meaning in our head, but to help improve the fate of collective humanity and life forms for generations to come. So what do we do with these unanswered questions? What I would task myself and each of you with is to relentlessly pursue the answers and continually refine the questions you seek to answer with all new available information. Possessing mental resilience and flexibility will get you to and through many difficult situations. Whether you're pursuing the answers to what equitable justice looks like in the green transformation, or maybe how to settle land use conflicts for those living off the land versus those who want recreation. Or maybe you just are looking for a way to inventory and mitigate every greenhouse gas that has ever been or will ever be emitted. These are the issues that need to be solved to truly realize why we came to SEAS. So my challenge to you is relentlessly pursue the answers that keep you excited for the future. Whether the beneficiaries are family, friends, neighbors, opposition, or strangers, everyone should win when the world wins. We're all in this together. Personally, to stay focused on my goals of what I want to achieve for the betterment of others is to treat myself like another. If I was someone else, what would I want? I'm sure many of you, hard on myself for not having all the answers sometimes. But if being in SEAS has taught me anything, it is how to work hard toward being okay with this discomfort and to use it as a driver of change. After all, we are game changers. Whether we use this movement for racial and gender justice and equity to combat the economic, political systems that oppress the have-nots with the will of the haves, or using COVID to slingshot the momentum for empathy, connection, and compassion into the immediate social consciousness, we have the fortitude to do these things and so much more. I have learned from many of you what it means to wage steady pressure to create change. For someone who does not have the proper context, that may seem small, but the transformational effects on the end beneficiaries are massive. I was asked not to use names directly in this speech, so we'll play a little game, see if you can figure out what I'm talking about. This Masters of Urban Planning student in ConEco dual degree, for example, has shown that with enough will and commitment, you can keep your community that resides in a food desert in Southwest Detroit food secure through a global pandemic by providing free fruit, vegetables, and other foods for free from Cadillac Urban Garden. One EPPer has shown that through determination and proper skill and knowledge, you can help to change hearts and minds for people who depend on the land for opportunities, all while having a newborn baby and driving back and forth across the country. This EJ student particularly has shown that with detailed education and awareness of social and racial inequities, you can shine the light on the biggest problems addressing vulnerable communities to affect change in the technology transformation. Additionally, I would be remiss not to mention the countless, likely infinite, hours that MLA students spend in the studio. In talking with Professor Stan Jones in preparation for the speech, he mentioned, it's not all too uncommon for them to arrive at 9 a.m. in the morning and leave well after 9 p.m., sometimes staying there all night, working on site analyses, design and planning projects, developing construction documents, details and models, struggling with, adapting to, and mastering software and digital hardware. I'm highlighting these SEAS experiences to show that regardless of career interests, it is impossible not to see the difference each and every person in SEAS can make going forward to create a more just and equitable world. To say that I am proud and inspired to know and work with all of you is an understatement. And I know I'll miss being around this type of motivation and courage on a daily basis. But I am excited to see us all move into our careers and lives. Thank you for everything that you've shown me is possible. Now go show the world. The line I've heard countless times growing up as a kid in Texas from the late CBS evening news anchor and proud Texan and UT alum, Walter Cronkite, still rings especially true today. What starts here changes the world. Thank you, and go blue.
Good afternoon. As the director of our program in the environment, I would like to take a few minutes to recognize and honor our undergraduates who are graduating today, including over 115 environment majors, as well as the nearly 150 students in one of our 5 minors. This year has been a tough one, full stop. Last March, I don't know how many of us could have predicted the year that was ahead of us. Each and every one of us has our own story about when the pandemic became real. For me, after it was announced that the remainder of classes would be held entirely remotely, I remember leaving my office on a Friday and walking down South U, and it was totally surreal. I remember overhearing all of the conversations as everyone just tried to process what was actually happening. But it would only be a few weeks, and surely they would still hold graduation in the big house, right? And of course, things would be totally back to normal by fall. At that point, I definitely did not realize that I would not set foot in my office for the next 5 months. And when fall arrived, we came back to a campus that was completely transformed. There were signs and sanitizer everywhere. My office was a time capsule of long-expired to-do lists, a whiteboard that had never been erased, and some truly dead-looking plants. When we talk about creating a sustainable world, we often use the term resilience, which is the ability to recover and adapt from a disruptive event. The pandemic has been one of the most disruptive events that many of us have ever experienced. And this past year has been an exercise in building resilience. As it turned out, not all of my plants had died over the summer. If you'll permit me a little show and tell, here's one of the plants I took home with me that day in August. Now, this plant had lost nearly all of its leaves, and the ones that remained were brown and twisted. It was done. It looked like I think many of us have felt at one point or another in the past semester or two. But it figured out a way to rebound, and is still doing it. It did take a little while for fresh leaves to sprout, and it's definitely a different looking plant than it was before. But that's a critical part of resilience, not going back to exactly the way things were, but adapting and changing and growing into a newly changed world. The fact that you are here at graduation and have made it through the last 14 months showcases your ability to be resilient. Graduating from the University of Michigan is no small feat in normal years, and this year has been anything but normal. But you've made it through. When you had Zoomed all day and just didn't think you could Zoom anymore, you figured out a way to persevere and enter yet another 6-digit code. I know it wasn't always easy, but you did it. And so while the last year has brought more than its share of challenges, I have nothing but confidence in your abilities to succeed in your future. Your time at Michigan has given you the tools to help ensure that the world that emerges from this crisis is better than the one that went into it. Over the last few years, I've been so impressed with your class's desire to truly make a difference, your willingness to do the work, fight for what you believe is right, your creativity, your great capacity for kindness, your resilience in the face of difficulties, and your ability to see the silver lining in just about anything. There are still challenges ahead, but it's always good to remember that disruption spurs innovation. We have extraordinary opportunities ahead to build a more just, sustainable, and resilient world, and you're going to be there to do it. You will be entering into a future that is poised for major long-term change. As you adapt and change and grow into the world ahead, I have every confidence that you will be part of the fight to help figure out how to create a better society and a healthier planet. Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2021, and go Blue.
Family, friends, fellow graduates, hi. My name is Kate Walsh, and I'm a graduating senior with the class of 2021, receiving my BA in Environment with a specialization in Law and Policy. Thank you all for joining in with this ceremony today, wherever you're watching it from. I know virtual graduation was not what any of us had in mind for this milestone in our lives, but if the past year has taught me anything, it's that the physical distance that divides us does not limit the Pike community's capacity for connection. I'm grateful today for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the class of 2021 and reflect on our time together. I did not come to Michigan expecting to study in Pike. In fact, I can say that I didn't even know it existed until my first day of classes freshman year, when one of my classmates mentioned she was studying in Pike, some acronym I had never heard of before, and apparently the confused look on my face served as my question for more clarification. After she explained to me what program in the environment meant, I thought the idea of it sounded pretty cool, but I was set on being a policy student, so I brushed this new knowledge aside and for a long time didn't give this program any more thought. But as I continued to work through my time at the university, I found myself wanting to take more and more environment courses, still pushing off my imminent destiny to end up as a Pike student, but I was so engrossed with these topics and learning how much work needed to be done in the environment field, and I was inspired by the amazing professors and classmates that I was getting to study with. Finally, it clicked. I cared about the environment, I cared about policy, and Pike offered me the opportunity to study both, and to keep engaging with this newfound community that I was just starting to get to know. At the beginning of my sophomore year, I found myself sitting in Environ 204, Water and Society, with John Benedict and Jason Duvall, assuring us class after class, this lecture isn't going to be so doom and gloom, we promise. Time after time, they proved themselves wrong, and yet I kept coming away from that class feeling surprisingly calm. Studying the environment can be a difficult thing. We spend so much time learning about the damage being done to our planet and the people that inhabit it, and yet I was surprised at how easy it was to find hope in the situation. This hope wasn't always coming from the content of my classes, but from looking around the room, learning from and connecting with my classmates, and seeing a group of people hungry to make a change. I knew when coming to U of M that I was going to be surrounded by people who were incredibly smart and capable, but I was not prepared for the level of passion and drive I was going to encounter. I've been consistently amazed with students in the Pike community and their desire to make a difference. Environment students want to save the world. That's not breaking news, but after spending 4 years with you all, I have grown in my confidence that this is really possible. The students being celebrated here today have put in the work both in and out of the classroom to leave their campus, city, and fellow students better than when they found them. In my courses, I have been challenged time and time again to expand my way of thought and acknowledge the limits of my own perspective, broadening my understanding and ability to tackle environmental issues while also being encouraged and building in my skills. I've been made a better and more aware individual because of the people I have come across through PITE, and for that, I would like to thank you all. Over the past year, I've had the distinct pleasure of working with the PITE Advising Office as a peer advisor. As I began to learn the lingo of the job, one phrase continuously stuck out to me. PITE is a choose-your-own-adventure story. I typically say this when pitching the PITE experience to students at the university, and while it is true, as you know, you can make your course load look however you want. Over my years here, I have learned that this idea of the agency we have over our own adventure spans far beyond our time here at school. In the almost 20 years of PITE's existence, students have gone out into the world to travel and learn, working to take the tools they have started developing and put them into practice. Getting to help with PITE social media, I've seen our current students and alumni accomplish such amazing things, all while managing to curate some of the most aesthetically pleasing Instagram feeds I've ever come across. From volunteering with environmental groups in Ann Arbor to making waves in industries all over the world, we're already starting to shake things up, and we're only just now graduating. Think of all the things we can do with the rest of our lives. So as we head forward towards our next steps, whatever those may be, may we remember our experiences here with Programming the Environment and keep that sense of adventure and hope at the forefront of our lives. The adventure doesn't stop with our time here at Michigan, but continues building on all of the things we have learned and experienced thus far. We have been given the knowledge and tools to go out and make the change we have all been longing to see. And may we never lose the hope that this community has inspired in me and so many others during our time together. Thank you, class of 2021. Congratulations, and forever, go blue.
Like all of us here at SEAS, I truly wish that I could congratulate you on your achievements in person. You chose to join our SEAS community because of your commitment to tackling the world's greatest challenges. How to ensure access to clean water, healthy food, affordable and clean energy, how to transition to responsible consumption and livable cities, how to restore ecosystems and reverse biodiversity loss, how to mitigate and adapt to climate change, along with many others. And, importantly, how to do all this in ways that are sustainable and just. You have learned about the drivers responsible for these challenges and the myriads of ways that we have available for addressing them. We trust that your leadership will make impacts in the world and that environmental justice will be at the cornerstone of your work. Being a sustainability leader means that you have to have courage, conviction, be creative and innovative, at times a contrarian, and at times a collaborator, and importantly, remain strong and resilient in the face of adversity. You have shown us that you have all of these characteristics, including through your actions over this past unprecedented year. This is why I am honored to be among you right now, even at this physical distance. Though it is difficult and disappointing to celebrate your graduation in this virtual way, your class of 2021 will always be remembered for rising to the challenge. On behalf of SEAS, I congratulate you. Next, I have the honor and pleasure to announce this year's Student Government Teaching Awards. First, the Superior Teaching Award, which recognizes teaching and excellence among SEAS faculty. This year, the award goes to a faculty member whose students describe as a professor that makes students feel welcome, heard, respected, and valued. One that uses real-world group projects to help them translate learning into action, ties what he teaches to current events in authentic ways, a whiz at managing technologies such as Canvas and Zoom chats, and one who went above and beyond to foster a sense of class community. Congratulations, Dr. Sam Stolper. Thank you on behalf of our students and Cs. Teaching assistants also make extremely valuable contributions to students' learning experiences. This year's winner of the Outstanding Graduate Student Instructor Award stood out in terms of how much she cared about student success, made herself available through every technology imaginable, the in-depth and constructive feedback she provided, and how she kept everyone motivated through her positive and upbeat attitude during these challenging COVID times. Congratulations, Marissa Lazaroff. Thank you for your valuable contributions to our students' learning experiences. And now, it is with honor and great pleasure that I introduce our commencement speaker, Telver Magruder. As Chief of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for General Motors, Telver leads the development and execution of strategies to ensure positive change within GM and to bring about an equitable and inclusive transition to an all-electric vehicle future. Prior to this role, Telver was a leader in GM's Sustainable Workplaces organization, where she led global facility engineering and technologies, as well as energy management strategies. She and her team played a critical role in GM's recent commitment to become carbon neutral in global products and operations by 2040. Along with her many professional accomplishments, Telver is deeply committed to mentoring professionals and inspiring students. She supports FIRST Robotics high school teams and equitable pre-K through 8 STEM education for the Society of Automotive Engineers. She's also the chair of the Board of Directors for the Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan, through which she helps to develop young women of courage, confidence, and character who will make the world a better place.
Good afternoon. I'm grateful for the opportunity to spend time with you as you walk into the future. And I give my sincere appreciation to Dean Overpeck and the C's staff for the invitation. Each and every one of you have chosen a path that allows you to directly influence the lives of those in our local communities and possibly the world. That is more than fantastic, and I know you already know that. I was at Dana a couple of years ago, and I saw this plaque on the wall. I suspect that you've walked by it hundreds of times and may not notice it anymore. On this particular day, it caught my attention. It said, "At C's, we believe. Climate change is real. Women's rights are human rights. No human is illegal. Science, not silence. Black lives matter. Love is love. Community is everything." Whatever your race, age, gender, sex, orientation, belief system, or any other identity you might have, we value you. So simple. And while no one is perfect, no statement is perfect, and no actions are perfect, I knew that what I felt when I was with my EAB colleagues and with the students at C's allowed that statement to ring true for me. At our core at C's, we believe. It means a lot, and whether or not you realize it right now, those core tenets are inside of you to some extent. Whether you've already had some years working, you're moving into your first experience in a full-time student life, or you'll continue with your studies, it's fair to say that you're on a mission. And with that, I'd like to leave you with the first important tidbit. Be yourself. I know this isn't new news, and I'm guessing you're committed to not being like your parents, but it's surprisingly difficult for people to do, particularly as we try new things, which all of you are about to do. Our desire to fit into a norm and be accepted can often run against our desires to be strong contributors in our professions. Know that being yourself sustains your energy level, and your unique observations and ideas will naturally impact the world around you. You will navigate more easily if you act from the inside out, rather than allow external factors put you in a box or a maze. One of my favorite books is called I Moved Your Cheese by Deepak Malhotra. It's a story about 3 unique mice, Max, Big, and Zed, who refuse to accept their life in a maze. Rather than running through the maze looking for cheese and accepting this as their reality, Max, Big, and Zed explore the possibility that they can control how they experience the maze. Through that, they create outcomes that the other mice can never imagine. The maze is no longer relevant to them. What they all discover in their own way is that the problem is not that the mouse is in the maze, but that the maze is in the mouse. The external, the maze, was confining their creativity, their passions, their beliefs in what was possible. And it wasn't until they let go of traditionally accepted reality of the maze that they realized their true power to change everything, literally everything. Think about how much we're influenced by our own paradigms. I'm sure that you've already had times in your life when you realized that the way you were thinking or what someone else was saying or doing was getting in the way of progress. We often must clear our preconceived notions of ourselves, of others, and of our ability to affect change in order to make progress. Those paradigms are our personal mazes, and they prevent us from being our true selves and maximizing our collective potential. I often reflect on my own life, and I realize all of the times I needed to confront barriers I was putting on myself. I also think of times I allowed external forces to dull my shine. And you might not look at me and think that, but it's absolutely true. As a Black female engineer, first at NASA Research Center and then in the automotive industry, I was a little less than rare. And by the time I started at GM, I was halfway through completing my master's degree in engineering while working, but showing up in this huge manufacturing facility where it seems everyone was twice my age gave me pause. My job was to solve technical problems, and everyone was giving me much needed advice on how to navigate the world around me, as well as technical advice for problem solving. Admittedly, I needed advice. I needed to be supported as I sorted all of this out. And I assumed that they knew everything because, they've been at this a lot longer than me, and frankly, they told me they knew everything. But before I knew it, in the initial years of my career, I had not only taken on the great knowledge and the business savvy I was learning, but I realized I'd taken on a style that was not completely my own, at least not all of the time. So sometimes I would bark out orders to people and not listen to them as well as I could, and I'd seen many successful people do that. But then there was a time when I worked with a team collaboratively and their ideas led. I'd let their ideas lead. And after that, I was most content and very successful. And the same way was true for the team. The same thing was true for the team. So sure, I wanted to fit in to some extent, but we get to draw the lines. The more creative I was with how I interacted with the team, how I presented my ideas from my perspective, and how I went a bit against the grain, the better I was able to perform. More importantly, I was more relaxed and confident because I was following my personal narrative. I found my way of getting things done. While different, it was working. So here's the other thing. I had a lot of really good days and a lot of really tough days. I had days when I thought all of these people are absolutely crazy. And then I had days when I was thankful to have colleagues in the grind with me. I had days when it was so utterly clear that cultural and systemic norms in my work environment were working against me. And I had days when I was able to tip the table in my favor just a little bit. And through it all, I always found that when I was able to step back and look at what I could control, I was able to shift through. I encourage you to regularly confront your personal mazes so that you can express yourself and your ideas as you work with others. And embrace the people and our planet. So just be yourself. Once again, this advice seems obvious, but it's not easy. So whether you decide to work for a corporation or a civic organization or an NGO or a university, you'll find that getting things done is usually not straightforward. I'm confident that you can be part of creating the change that you want to see in the world. And in order to do so, I challenge you to be relentlessly optimistic. I remember the first time I was able to spend some time with SEAS students as a relatively new member of the SEAS External Advisory Board. And we were doing roundtables with students. And afterwards, I was talking to some of the students. And one of them was inquiring about what it was like to work in corporate America. And so I started to give my perspective. And one of the students shared that they'd had an internship at a big company and they absolutely hated it. And they were completely disenchanted by the experience. And when I asked why, they said it was so hard to get things done and everyone was stuck in their ways. And it didn't seem like anyone actually cared about making changes to improve the carbon footprint or align with their Paris Agreement commitments. And I explained to him that while he may not be right about whether they cared about the goals, he was absolutely right about the fact that it was challenging. And so as we continued to talk, I realized that he was trying to figure out whether he was going to stay at SEAS, whether this whole environmental thing was a farce. And so I explained to him that it wasn't. And I proceeded to share my experience working the stand-up energy strategy for General Motors. And in 2016 at GM, we committed to have 100% of our operations run by renewable energy sources by 2050. And I was just coming into my role at that time, and the team that I was now leading had been working for months in order for us to make that commitment, make that public commitment. But what I realized was that while the theory was really sound, we had a lot of work to do to begin to truly reach toward that goal. And I decided to build an energy strategy. And so you might think that because the company had approved the statement of such a big goal, that the doors would just slam open so we could start moving into the future. But that's not how it works. Technically, we had to figure a lot out to lay out a comprehensive strategy, and every step of the way, we would find roadblocks. Some was normal business stuff, some was more mixed anxiety, or anxiety based on, how we've done things for so long or the implications of changing long-standing practices. So with every roadblock, we looked ahead with optimism and commitment. We knew that we could do this, and we had to adjust our strategies and learn more along this journey. 2050 is a long way away, so we knew we didn't have all of the answers, but we knew we could move forward. So those frustrating days, we overcame them with optimism and a lot of hard work. And meanwhile, we were making progress. It wasn't all roadblocks. So you have to keep that balance. We were learning from our long-standing energy efficiency practices, building renewable energy partnerships, building technical partnerships, influencing decisions of utility companies as we tried to align all of the stars of all the things that need to work to green the grid. And it took a couple of years, or to start greening the grid. And it took a couple of years, but we were able to see a path to a greener grid, not only for GM, but for companies and communities around us. And we forged that path. And in early 2020, we were able to accelerate our commitment to 100% renewable globally. We accelerated from 2050 to 2040. And early this year, the team was able to announce yet another acceleration, another updated projection, where we now project that we'll be 100% renewable energy globally by 2035 and by 2030 in the United States. This work started over 4 years ago, but look what we were able to do. So hundreds of conversations, thousands of frustrations across the team, yet hundreds of little meaningful successes get you there. I promise you that this story is not just for people working in big companies. It is for all of you. Use your skills, collaborate and ideate with others, stay focused on the why, and assume good in people. Be optimistic. I hope that conversation helped a fantastic SEAS student keep going, and I hope this story helps you. Be yourself, be optimistic, and I'd also like to encourage you to flow like water as you navigate your career. Here I stand before you as the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. 8 months ago, I was leading the way to 100% renewable energy and operations by 2035. Other members of my team were building a new EV battery plant, and building a new plant for electric vehicles, and running facilities management in North America during a pandemic. I've led design and installation of multi-million-dollar electrical and mechanical equipment. And I started my career wanting to go to engineering school and then medical school. But this isn't the Telva Bragg Show, so why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because your career will take so many twists and turns that you can't anticipate. But if you are true to yourself and surround yourself with great trusted advisors, your trajectory will be perfect for you. And when I think about water, something we all care about, something we all need, and particularly at seas, I'm truly amazed. It takes the form of whatever vessel you put it in. When allowed to run free, similar to what we do with our lives, it always finds the best path for flow. And while water is flowing, it gives itself the freedom to adjust the environment to the environmental changes around it. And at the same time, it changes the environment that it's flowing in. Water capitalizes on strengths. It's adaptable, yet it's always attempting to stretch its limits while staying true to its core properties. We can do that too. Starting from early in my career, when I first realized I did better when I did me, I also realized that what I cared about most was people. And yes, I was a technical problem solver, but I was at my peak and uplifted my coworkers most when I considered people first. I could be the skilled trades and peers I was working with to solve problems. I would pay attention to them, and then I would consider all the people that would be impacted by the problems that we were solving. And as my career progressed, I started focusing on culture, creating safe spaces for my teams and the teams that I worked with so they could be imperfectly excellent when surrounded by challenges. And I got better at navigating situations of bias and systemic challenge. I would speak compassionately to those that held bias and ask them how we could work together better. And in systemic issues, I would help people flow like water around those issues. Technical job after technical job, what created my flow was focused on people, their needs, their behaviors, their joys, and their pains. And on difficult days, I would reflect on what good things I'd accomplished for our culture, for people on that day, to allow myself to move on. Always having my overarching priority allowed me to make decisions in my volunteer activities and in my career that allowed me to thrive and allowed me to arrive at the place that I'm with you in today and speaking to you. It was a hard decision to move into my current role as Chief of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, given my expected career trajectory. And that was until I realized that this role would allow me to influence and to help people on a grand scale. I realized that I could adapt like water to this role and bring all of my knowledge and strengths with me. It is, in fact, what I've been aiming for my entire career as a side hustle. So while this was the biggest career shift I've had, it certainly was not the first, and it will not be the last. As a high school girl, I wanted to be an engineer and a doctor so I could help people suffering from paralysis and have more just and equitable lives. My focus on people flowed me right into this job where I help people have more just and equitable lives. And in the words of Bruce Lee, don't get set into one form. Adapt it and build your own and let it grow. Be like water. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. So be yourself. Be optimistic. Flow like water. Know that the courage to act must come from within. If you feel stuck, remember that oftentimes the problem is not that the mouse is in the maze, but that the maze is in the mouse. Confront the mazes in yourself and take positive action. Be optimistic about the change you can create and be prepared to flow like water when the world changes around you. You have so much to look forward to. We have so much to look forward to. Congratulations, be well, stay positive, and thank you for keeping people and the planet first.
Congratulations, everyone, on all your hard work. You did it. You should be really proud of yourselves. Wish you every success and stay in touch.
Congratulations to the SEAS grads of the class of 2021. You have really impressed us with your energy, passion, and creativity and insights, and we look forward to seeing the impact that you will have on a more sustainable future. Go Blue!
Hi everybody, Drew Grunwald here, congratulating you on all your hard work during your time here at SEAS. Congratulations on your graduation. Best of luck moving forward. Take care and go Blue.
Congratulations, SEAS graduates. Go Blue and go carbon neutral.
Wow, what a year we've had. And you all not only survived, but you thrived. You ran with Zoom and you helped faculty like me to make it work. And we all thank you for that. I was amazed by your creativity, your engagement, your ability to make the best of the hand that we were all dealt. You've proven that you can do anything against great odds, and we trust that you will. So go out now, make a difference in the world. The world needs you. Go green, go blue, remember the armadillo, and keep in touch. Congratulations, Seas graduates.
Hey there, Seas class of 2021. J.R. Richardson, Chair of the Michigan Natural Resources Commission here. I met you 2 years ago at the University Summer Camp up on Douglas Lake when we were facing an epidemic of intolerance towards wolves. I wanted to get your advice about whether we should host a public wolf hunt. I can't say that I received any clear direction, but I enjoyed the beer and the bonfire after. I'm still wrestling with my choice, lying awake at night, hearing wolf howls in the dark. So I am really glad that you're graduating, because you must be so much smarter. So if you have any new perspectives on the issue, you can reach me through Professor Yaffe. You have his and my congratulations. Go blue, or more important, go out and change the world for the wolves and the humans.
Congratulations, graduates. You have become part of the fabric and the history of Seas. All of us together endured the pandemic and we became Zoom zombies in isolation, but we proved that we are resilient and adaptive. I know you will be the leaders and best, stars in local to international arenas. Come back and share your successes with us. You have enriched my life with your wit, your wisdom, and your enthusiasm. And as you go, you take a part of us with you. Go blue.
I respect so much your hard work and your aspirations. Go out and show everyone that environmentalism can be just and equitable.
Congratulations, Seas graduates of 2021. You have accomplished so much despite challenges, and you will go on to do great things in this world. Remember to go outside for inspiration. Congratulations.
Hi folks. First, congratulations on being part of an effort to make a positive difference in the world. And congratulations on completing your degree, as challenging as this year has been. In the short time we spent together, we hardly got to know you, but we passed on to you our best understanding and thinking, and our hopes and dreams for your success. Carry that forward. Follow your passion. Use your critical thinking. It's up to all of you now. And in the words of Bob Dylan, may your hands always be busy, may your feet always be swift, may you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful, may your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young. Please keep in touch and let us know what you're up to, and as always, go blue.
Congratulations to the Seas class of 2021. You've made it. Now it's time to go out and make a difference like only you can. To the landscape architecture students, congratulations on making it through all of those all-nighters, issues with printers, scanners, software, fun nights, fun days, lots of crits. You're ready to go out and take on incredibly tough and challenging problems and really making a difference for the people you work for, the people you work with, and for the planet. Go out, do great work, and as always, go blue.
Very big congratulations to you guys, Seas class of 2021. This year has been such a big challenge for everyone, and you guys have really shone through it all. Go forward and have a big impact in the world. All the best to you. Go blue.
Hi folks, this is Sam for those who don't know me.
for those that do, it's been a pleasure knowing you. And I want to congratulate everyone in the class of 2021 on graduation. It's no small feat, and you should give yourself some credit and hopefully treat yourself on this occasion. I also want to say thank you for inspiring me these last couple of years and for teaching me, for helping me to learn some new things. And lastly, I'm really excited to see where your careers and your lives take you, so stay in touch.
Congratulations to the Pike graduates from the class of 2021. We can't wait to see where you go from here. Go Blue.
Congrats!
Congrats.
Go
Blue.
Go
Blue.
Go Blue.